The big one was the Resident Evil 4 Remake gameplay demo. I want to hear from you first, Jacob. Given you haven't played the original, just your initial impressions of that gameplay demo.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good. Gave me a lot of reminded me quite a lot of RE2 Remake. Just the third person mode. I liked the destructible, like, so he's like backing up through a shed, I think, and he shoots a fire from the ceiling and it drops down and it burns all the enemies in front of them. So I like that there's going to be like destructible environments like that, or little things that you can do to sort of, you know, take advantage of your surroundings. What else? The chainsaw guy was cool in the trailer, or the gameplay. Just the ways that you can sort of like evade him and sort of like push things into him to stumble him for a second. I thought that was cool. Again, I don't know much about the original game. I'm sort of going off what I saw in the gameplay here, but it looks fun. I mean, I didn't really get a good sense of like who's the character in the Leon. Thank you. I didn't really get a good sense of like who he is or how he is in the game. I know you said he's like a fan favorite and people like how he acts in the game and he's like goofy and stuff.
You know, it's Leon from Resident Evil 2, right?
Yeah, but he's much. I feel like he's different in that game, right?
Yeah, I think he's 4 years older in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, like I mean, I enjoyed him in 2, but he wasn't really like what stole the show for me in that game by any means. It's more about the environment and just the journey. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and this is a game I'm definitely going to pick up when it comes out. I was impressed.
Same, man. It's interesting to hear perspective. I've only played the original all the way through once. Preston's played it probably a dozen times all the way through on multiple platforms, and most other fans of Resident Evil 4 have played it at least a few times. But even the one playthrough I've had, I recognize just how great it was, and there's a lot I love about that original. So seeing this gameplay demo, and the original's pretty fresh in my mind. I replayed it about a year ago on played it all the way through for the first time on PS4. Still awesome, like still plays great, and that's why a lot of people, especially hardcore fans, are a little hesitant to, like, by all means remake the earlier games, but don't touch Resident Evil 4 because that game's still a masterpiece. So it's been cool to see that everyone, myself included, is very stoked about this. Of course, graphically it looks incredible, but what's most impressive is that they blended a lot of great new ideas with what people loved about the original. Of course, aesthetically it's similar but also different. Notable change is in this demo, he goes into this house where you go in the beginning, and initially you just like immediately encounter someone and like the game takes off. But in this, it seems like you creep through this house and it's kind of spooky and eerie and you're figuring out what's going on. And they skip around a little bit, so we don't know exactly how it plays out. But that's a little different. Major gameplay changes are your knife has durability now, so it isn't just invulnerable, because the loop in the original was, you know, like knife someone and then you roundhouse kick them down, and then if you need to use your gun, you can use your gun. But that was kind of the loop, but they've added durability now. So whenever you use it, you're whittling that down, and it can also be used to counter the chainsaw guys, which previously could kill you in one hit. So that makes it way more tense and interesting, is that you can't always rely on that knife. There's also crafting in the game now, which is new. So it's one thing to find ammo in the original game when you're searching through boxes, but the fact that you can choose what to craft with the items you find makes exploring really interesting. They've added a stealth mechanic where you can crouch and maybe avoid enemies entirely, which is new. That's cool. It's also nice to see that it retains the original personality of Leon, where he's like an action superstar, where he like will make quips as he's running through. A big one from this demo that people loved is when he goes through the barn and with the new environmental destruction shoots a lantern that falls on the cow and it ignites in flames to block the enemies coming. He's like, bill me for the damages later or something. It's like stupid stuff like that he would say the original. And the roundhouse kick is in there, like I mentioned, which is a big deal. People are hoping the suplex is in there, where you grab someone with your arms and then like wrestle move them to the ground and their head explodes when they hit the ground. So I'm assuming if all this other stuff is in there, that'll be in there too. I'm hoping we can just discover that for ourselves in the full game. I've definitely seen enough, but just that demo looked amazing. All the new gameplay elements I've thrown in there look awesome, including the narrative trailer that plays afterward. You can see all the classic characters are in there, some of whom people were surprised to see, myself included. Some of the big bosses. A lot of other stuff they're keeping under wraps, which I appreciate, because I want to just experience as much of that game as possible without being spoiled. So overall, dude, just the gameplay demo blew my mind. Everyone who went hands-on had nothing but positive things to say about it. So it's rare when you see, especially a remake, dude, everyone be so positive about it. It's just gets you even more hyped. So it's kind of a bummer it doesn't come till March. I mean, that's going to come sooner than we then we know it's going to come very quickly, but I want to play it so bad. And it's also the rare instance where I was almost compelled. I didn't do it, but I was almost compelled to buy the collector's edition just out of respect. Because I'm like, this is so impressive what they're doing with this. But I hesitated, but I almost did it, which is a very rare temptation for me. So yeah, man, I'm so pumped for it. I think it looks great.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm pumped.